How's it going, everybody? All is Dust here, and today we're actually going to be playing some Sid Meier's Pirates. Now, why Pirates and not Bloodborne, you ask? Well, like a pirate, I've had a few too many. And I'm in no state to play Bloodborne, because that requires a higher brain function than I am currently capable of. So, we're going to be playing a little bit of a more relaxed game called Sid Meier's Pirates, as I'm sure I've mentioned. So, this was one of my favorite games back in the day. It began with a celebration. Indebted for years to the Marquis de Montalbain, a family's prosperity was soon to be restored. Their fleet was due to arrive on the morrow, carrying both their hopes and their salvation. But the celebration was befouled by an unwelcome guest. The Marquis himself arrived bearing ill tidings. The fleet had been lost, and the debt had come due. The family's property was seized, and they were pressed into bondage. Ooh. One of them would not be a slave. Spoilers, it's you. And so it was, the brave young scion escaped his family's fate, swearing to save them one day, avenge the Marquis' foul deed. 10 years later, now grown into his full measure, the young adventurer begins his quest to find his family and restore their fortune. So, this game is about, who'd have guessed it, piracy, and being a pirate. This is one of my favorite games when I had a much lower budget than I currently have right now. I played this game for hours on end, and I loved every moment of it. If I am correct, and I sincerely hope that I am, Sid Meier's Pirates is a remake of Pirates, which was a DOS game, and it was an amazing game from all that I've gathered. This is as similar as it gets to the original DOS version, just with updated graphics. I love this game, and it's a great time filler. So, I will try to introduce every feature as it comes up, but bear with me as I have been drinking. Once again, I am over the legal drinking age in the United States of America, and I do not condone the underage drinking. Please, if you choose to drink alcohol, drink responsibly and within your limits, and never, ever, 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 ever drink and drive. So, now that that disclaimer is out of the way, we can actually get into the nitty-gritty. So, crew sign-ups, as you can see. My name, Sid Meier. It's a name that I've been using for many of my characters for quite a while. Boom. Experience. I actually like this because the higher experience level, the better your posture gets. Generally, I start a game at Journeyman, which is, for the most part, easy. Apprentice is very easy. Swashbuckler is, very difficult. Adventurer is average. But we want to start as a Journeyman so we can gain more personal effects and develop some wealth before moving on towards adventure and rogue and swashbuckler. Generally speaking, towards the end of the game, I end up playing as rogue. Now, skill. This determines what you're best at. Fencing is sword fighting. Gunnery is how fast and accurate your ship reloads and fires. Navigation, how fast your ship sails and how good it is for sailing against the wind. Medicine, in general, will increase your overall life expectancy. Wit and charm, how good you are at wooing the governor's daughter. Generally, I take navigation, because I really hate sailing into the wind. In this game, and I'm not sure if that translates in real life, the Spanish Main, down in the Caribbean, the wind blows east-west, and that's all well and great if you're sailing north to south, or west or east to west. But let's say you're in the Florida Keys and for some reason you need to end up in Barbados. It's going to take a very, very long time. Navigation will help with that because you are going to be sailing against the wind the entire time. So that's why I prefer going with navigation. And as far as the start date, that is, in general, personal preference. Just depends on all it does is change the distribution of the nationalities. 1660 is, for the most part, the most well-balanced, because that's the high age of piracy, as I'm sure you can read on the left-hand side, and I'm not going to read that for you. However, we're going to continue. Now, personally, my grandmother is English. She grew up in, and forgive me because I'm absolutely certain I'm pronouncing this wrong. She grew up in Mount Mulberry, in and around, I believe, Worcestershire. But anyway, she grew up in England, and after she was done with her education, she moved to the United States, married my grandfather, and had my mother, and then my mother had me. So I feel the strongest towards sailing with the English, because deep down, I'm English. So we're just gonna go with them. The other nationalities, if you're interested in playing this game, are French, Spanish, and Dutch. And they are always at war with one another.
Peninsula.
Welcome aboard, Sid McKinley. We sail with something. The crossing was fraught with terror and cruelty. Captain drove the ship and her crew to breaking. Yeah, he scrubbed that deck. Hands off that! Smack! Oh no. Push beyond all decency, the crew mutinies. Now, my question is, how did he get the cannon up onto the forecastle? I believe that's the forecastle. Again, alcohol. Not entirely sure if everything I'm saying is correct, but I certainly hope so. But in all that, how did he get the cannon up onto up at the helm? Free under full sail. The ship and its crew at your command. You make your way to the Caribbean. I pronounce it Caribbean. A fortune to be had. A family to rescue. Revenge to be served. Revenge to be served. Your destiny awaits you. Alcohol. So we're pulling into Antigua, the English port. Alright, so this is the screen you see when you pull into port. In general, you want to go through all these options, see what there is to do. So, for example, talk to the government. Hello, my dear Sid McKinley. Please come in. And I truly do not mean any offense to anyone from the UK that is watching. You may be interested to know that we are at war with the evil Spanish and the greedy Dutch. I'm pleased to offer you a letter of marque, which authorizes you to plunder and sink the ships of our enemies. As this map will show, the nearest enemy city is the Dutch city of... Oh, I hate this. St. Eustatius, which lies a short distance to the northwest. As you can see, a short distance to the northwest. In fact, a juicy Dutch bark has been seen this morning heading in that direction. Good day, Sid McKinley. I'm slightly embarrassed. I would be embarrassed if I wasn't as inebriated. Onward we visit the tavern. It's right over here. We have men willing to join our group, which, as of right now, we want men on our group. Back here, we have a mysterious stranger who will deal in goods and upgrades, and sometimes he'll give you a free information on certain towns. But right now he wants 1350 gold pieces for a Dutch rudder, which we only have 100. We cannot afford that. The barmaid will have rumors. There's rumor there's a skilled quartermaster on board the Vleestru. I believe she's a Dutch pinnacle headed for Antigua. So as we can see, there's the map, and right there where the flag is, you can see that's where the Vleestru is, and I sincerely apologize for the butchery of a language. Talk to the innkeeper. The shipwright in Guadalupe can upgrade your ship with fine green powder if you like. Your ship will fire further. Blah, blah, blah. So, we have, as of right now, because we're just starting off, we have nothing else to do. So we're going to sail away. We're going to sail up north towards San Antigua. It's you. The Vleestru had the, I think, quartermaster on it. So we're gonna shoot at them. Try to lower their crew at the moment. I'm using grape shot, which essentially is anything that you can pack into the cannon. It's like firing off it's like a frag grenade, or it's like, well, basically it is shrapnel. You fire that directly at the crew, or you fire that at the ship, and it's intended to deal as much personnel damage as possible. We're gonna fire a round shot. Round shot is what you generally think of when you think of cannonballs. Round ball is fired, and that will deal the most damage to the hull. Chain shot is essentially two balls that are connected with a chain, and you fire that in the general direction of the mast and the sails in order to deal as much damage as you can to the ship's maneuverability, or at least the ship's ability to catch the wind. And I'm gonna be honest, I got really lucky. Oh! As the ship approaches, the enemy strikes your colors. A pretty pile of gold and plunder are yours for the taking. One of the Dutch crewmen is a skilled quartermaster who can enforce discipline at sea. He is quickly persuaded to join our crew. You know what? I'm gonna keep that ship. We're gonna take off. Wow, there are a lot of smugglers here. Oh. Merchant. Let's offload some luxuries. I love the music in this game, especially in the English towns. Alright, nothing has changed here. So sail away. Alright, so if we go to fleet status real quick and down to the captain's log, we can see who is at war with who. So we are sailing with the English, although in the grand scheme of things that doesn't really matter. We just need to make sure who we have the most reputation with. Ooh. Pardon me. The most reputation with, as opposed to who we're at war with. So let's say, as of right now, Spanish are at war with everyone. So any Spanish I see, I can pick on, and everyone will like me for it, except for the Spanish. Now the English are at war with the Dutch. So it would be in my best interest to attack Spanish ships. So tell you what, we're gonna head northwest to San Juan. Meanwhile, we're gonna park in St. Eustatius. Gonna consult the ship, right? Yeah, we're gonna sell this ship. Talk to the governor. I'll pass. Tavern. Welcome aboard, lads. Okay, so treasure maps work in this way. So he gives you a piece of the map, and you can see a certain area. It'll show you the landmarks in the area, and lucky for us, we can see San Juan up in this scrap map. Now, you don't need to buy every piece of the map in order to find the treasure. So if you can narrow it down by your lonesome, then you actually save money. So she's saying there's an English ship headed to Barbados with a lot of money on board. Now, we're selling with the English, so we're gonna skip on that. And the bartender is saying that we can get fine grade upgrade in St. Kitts. So we might hit that up in a little bit. Maybe after we're done dealing with a few Spanish ships. What is that? It's Spanish smuggler. So smugglers actually, beg pardon. Smugglers generally tend to have decent cargo on board. Now, there is no defined goal in the game. There's no requirement and what have you. But you generally want to strive for something. You want to strive for an end goal. And in this case, in this playthrough, we're gonna strive for reuniting our family. Because I have never actually done that. I've gotten wealthy. I've become well respected in different governments, but I've never reunited my entire family, and I think I want to do that this time. Okay, so as we can see, this map is leading us southwest of San Juan. Let's tell you what, we're gonna go and dig that up, and then we're gonna call it. So I want to show you everything, or I want to show you as much as possible. So, fortunately, we found San Juan. They don't seem to be fond of us because they're shooting at us. But we are going to weigh anchor just out here. Yes, we'll anchor here. And then it switches to this ground party mode, where you walk around and you look for, well, basically you just walk around. However, if you're looking for certain things, certain landmarks, such as, let's say, the geyser in the Inca Temple, because that would narrow down where Jack Rackham's treasure is. We want to head south. There it is. Then you can actually dig up his treasure. So, there we go. There's the Inca Temple, there's the geyser, and lo and behold, there is the treasure. So we're gonna have our crew dig that up, because the captain never gets his hands dirty. A few hours of digging, and comes Jack Rackham's buried treasure worth 2,000 gold pieces. Awesome. We're gonna just return to ship. So, that means we did well. And now that we found the buried treasure, that means so anyway. Oh, Spanish smuggler. We're gonna take him out real quick. Ooh. Alright, alright. Oh, yep, we got through it. They overshot us. So, we want to try to reduce their crew as much as possible. In fact, I think I want this ship. It's a brigantine. You know, I'm not going to deal any damage with it. So, when your enemy doesn't surrender, that means that you have to fight their captain. I like the rapier because it's fastest. Combat is fairly simple. They do an attack, you do the essentially opposite. For example, if they are swinging overhead like that, you wanna duck. If they swing down below, you wanna jump. If they thrust, you wanna parry. And it's like a tug of war, as you saw. Eventually, you push them towards the end, and you win regardless of the current outcome of the crew. Your courage has impressed the enemy. An equal group of 16 sailors volunteered to join your crew of 56. Welcome aboard, lads! Well, they had a pretty decent haul on them. You know what? I'm gonna keep your ship. I'm gonna take all. I'm gonna continue. Now, real quick, you can actually, under fleet status, change your flagship. So, for example, if I'm done with the Revenge, which is the ship you start off with, and I want, say, the Medea, I can actually choose that by selecting that as my flagship. In addition, I can rename a ship. So, let's say, for example, I don't like the name Medea. And instead, I like the name I like the name Neverender. There we go. Reference to one of my favorite bands, if anyone actually knows that. Cool points for you. So, now my brigantine is named the Neverender, and to be honest, it has the most upgrades. And I think I'm gonna keep that as my flagship. And behold, now that is my main ship. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching. I am All Is Dust. Hope everyone enjoyed listening to me ramble on, whilst I inebriate myself yet further. But if you like this video, please feel free to give that thumbs up, share, subscribe, and above all else, I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. So, that said, y'all have a good night, and peace!